Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be looking at this puzzle. It is wait to move and win, so you can pause the video to find the moves on your own. Alright, so this position black has 3 pawns pushing downwards, and we only have 1 pawn on a2. Now, if we just remove the pawns from here, this is a draw because of insufficient material. But luckily for us, there are still pawns on the board, and it either ends in a draw or ends in a win for us. So, for example, if we play any checks, it's not going to help us. The reason for that, they're just going to escape with their king and then push the pawns and most likely end up in a draw. So we cannot give a check. But the most important thing is that their king cannot really escape. And you can see this bishop like really good, and he cannot escape. But black can go here to c4, right? So we need to stop black from going to c4. How can we do that? Well, we play king to d3. Now we are trying to box the king inside of a4 or a5 to figure out a way to get the mate. Here black has many options. He can move his king to a5 to a4, or he can play a5. Let's see, for example, when he plays a5. What can we do now? Well, we want to control these squares with our king so that we can give a check with our bishop and likely end up in a checkmate for white. So the way for us to do so is to control these squares by playing king to d4. So if black plays a4, then bishop to d2 will be checkmate, since the king is protecting these squares and the pawn is controlling this square. Alright, what if instead of playing a4, they played king a4? Now what do we do here? Well, now we play this move king c5. And the entire idea of moving our king in this way is to stop black from having any kind of legal moves until we end up with a checkmate. Right now his king cannot move, the pawns cannot move, and the only move he has is b4. And once he plays b4, we just play a waiting move like king c4. They still cannot move anything except this pawn. They play b3, and a takes b3 will be checkmate with the pawn. Right, so after king d3, right, they don't play a5. And instead of a5, they play, let's just see, king a5 first. What happens with king a5? King a5, we just want to get our king closer, we play king c3. They either push the pawn or they move their king. If they play a check, we reach the same position, we just play king c4. If they went here, then we just waste time with a move like bishop b6. We're just stopping them from moving their pieces. If they go with a6, sorry, with a5, we play, I mean, whatever move you want here, bishop d4, because we're trying just to force them to play this move b3 and then get the mate. But you might ask yourself, hold on, what if after king c4, black plays b3? What do we do now? Well, if you take with the king, this is a draw. The reason for that, the black king can escape, can play king b5. Even if we have a pawn, the problem with this pawn that the promotion square, it is a light square, right? And we have a dot square bishop. That means we can never kick the king away from that square. That's why this position is a draw. So we don't take with the king, we take with the pawn. Yes, we take with the pawn, allowing a2 to happen, and we don't even try to stop the pawn. We don't care about the pawn. We play king c5. Very beautiful move. The idea is that it doesn't matter what they promote to. If they promote to a queen, then we have bishop d2, and it's checkmate. Once they block with the queen, we take, and that's checkmate. So after king d3, what if they play king a4? Well, the same move. We just don't want them to be able to escape with their king and run away. So we play bishop to b6, stopping them from going here with their king. If you might ask yourself, well, what about king b4? Well, you just play king d4, and you're just passing the move on to them again. If they played a5, we have bishop c5, they go here, we get the king close, they have no moves, they have to play this, we play king c4, they have to push the pawn, and the same line I showed you before. Okay, so after bishop a6, what if they played a5 here in this position? Well, the same thing, we play king c3, we're just trying to get closer, they cannot move their king, they play a check, king c4, they're pretty much forced to move the same pawn again, and then we play 8x b3 checkmate. So the entire idea here that we need to box in the king on a4 or on a5 and then get the mate either with the bishop or with the pawn capture by just wasting time and making them move their pawn in a way that is going to enable the 8x b3 move, and that will end up in a checkmate. Thank you for